Belize's GDP for the second quarter of 2018 went up by 5.4% when compared to the same period last year. It is a relatively big increase in the country's overall level of economic activity in recent years, that is, since 2014. The goods and services produced during this time are valued at $765.3 million, which represents an increase of almost $40 million when compared to the same period in 2017. This growth is because of increases in all three sectors.
We have the agriculture, hunting, and forestry contributing 1.4% to the overall 5.4%. We have electricity and water contributing 1.1% to this 5.4%. Wholesale and retail trade contributing 0.7%, construction at 0.5% contribution, and hotel and restaurants at 0.3% contribution.
Production in the primary sector grew by 9% for the second quarter of 2018 when compared to the second quarter of 2017. Sugarcane deliveries increased by 7.9%, banana shipments increased by 26.3%, or over 5,000 metric tons as the industry rebounds following Hurricane Earl. Livestock sector also saw growth in pig, poultry, and cattle productions. On the other hand, citrus production dropped by more than one-third, with orange deliveries down by 33% as a result of aging trees and citrus greening. Some sectors of the marine industry continue to struggle.
Fishing also went down by 16.4%, and that is seen in a drop in shrimp export of roughly 77.9%. Whole fish exported also dropped by 45%, and lobster tail exported dropped by 6.6%. However, we have conch exporting over 100%.
Consumers at home saw the prices of regularly purchased goods and services go up by 0.5% as of July of this year. Prices were up in the transport category by 3.9%. Costs for housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels were up by a mere 0.03%, and all other categories, which include health consultation fees and motor insurance, increased by 0.7%. In the food and non-alcoholic beverages category, prices decreased for meats, but there were increases in the cost of cabbage, lime, eggs, natural milk, and other products.
This graph shows a trend in the food index over the past 2 years. Starting in July 2015, food prices were at 107.4 to July 2016, where it increased slightly to 107.5. In July 2017, it fell to 106.7, and in July 2018, it fell slightly again to 106.2. The trend line again gives a good representation of the direction of the index, and with this line we clearly notice a downward trend for food from 2015 to July 2018.
In the External Trade Bulletin, Belize's imports for January to July of 2018 were valued at $1.1 billion, a $40 million import increase when compared to the first 7 months of last year.
Upon deeper analysis of changes in imports, it was observed that mineral fuels and lubricants, which accounted for 15% of total imports, was the primary contributor to the overall growth in imports, as that category rose by almost 23%, or $29 million to $158 million, as the country spent considerably more on imported fuels owing to higher world market prices. Belize imported noticeably more food in January to July of this year than it did for that same period last year. For the food and live animals category, grew by $6 million to a little over $130 million, with increased purchases of a variety of grocery items and wheat seeds.
For this year, Belize exported goods valued at $258.9 million, a decrease in exports of almost $46 million up to the same time last year. This downturn is because of decrease in export earnings of all major commodities: bananas, marine products, crude petroleum, sugar, and citrus products.
Sugar, which is Belize's leading export commodity, suffered the greatest loss, despite having a 6% increase in exported volumes of that product, export earnings fell considerably by 21.2% or $23.2 million to $86 million. For the period, earnings of citrus exports fell by 12.8% or $8.2 million to $55.8 million, with earnings from orange concentrate and orange oil recording the most significant decreases of all citrus products. Exports of citrus products were down in all markets.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.